we did a town hall meeting in a large restaurant in town, and I said, anybody who comes, I'm going to pay for your beer. I want to hear what you got to say. And I bought a lot of beers that night, a few hundred, literally a few hundred beers. I've never done that before.
Okay, let's go.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of my conversation with Dave Heller of the Quad City River Bandits. On this episode, we talk about philanthropy work, right? Giving back to the community, some of the work that the Quad City, the Bandits are doing in the community. We talk about some missteps that happen with designing a certain logo. You guys got to listen to that. And then we talk Copa brand. And then finally, my good friend Kelly Robinson, the minor league nerd, he brings us some history of the Quad Cities, baseball, and then possibly other sports. So you guys got to listen to it. So without further ado, I'll give you the episode. Let me ask you, and this is going to be a little off tangent, but like, what interested you in purchasing other teams? In not only in the Quad Cities, but like you went all the way as far as east and west. Like, I mean, you have you guys, your ownership has a good number of teams that you guys own right now.
Yeah, 4 teams in 4 time zones, right? Yeah. Nobody else has that.
Yeah.
We have so much fun here in the Quad Cities, and we've done some great things, and I think we make a real difference in our community. I think the River Bandits are as much a part of the DNA of the Quad Cities as anything there is. And so after doing that here, we've started thinking, okay, maybe we can do that in some other places and have that same kind of impact. And for me, as a kid who finished high school in Baltimore, lived in Baltimore and finished high school in Baltimore, to buy the Wilmington Blue Rocks when that came for sale in 2014, Wilmington's about an hour, a little over an hour north of Baltimore. That was really exciting. I thought, well, unless you're going to own the Orioles, this is probably as close to Baltimore as you're going to get with an affiliated team.
Yeah.
And so we bought the Blue Rocks, and that's been a wonderful experience in a great community. And I'm proud of what we've done there as well.
We just talked about at the beginning of this episode of the podcast is that the team just recently released a new identities, for this year, right? The new uniforms, and I gotta say, it rocks. The Blue Rocks. The color is beautiful, right? That baby blue with the logo on it, the pick on it. Oh my God!
Yeah. So what we did, I told you earlier that we in the Quad Cities are really proud that USA Today named us the best minor league ballpark in America 3 times in a row now.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
We're in Wilmington. We're very proud that our mascot, Mr. Celery,
yes,
was voted the second best mascot in America, only behind the AAA club in Albuquerque.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's Mr. Celery, and so we've really leaned into Mr. Celery, and you can see there's a lot of green in that new logo. With the Blue Rocks and the pickaxe.
Yeah.
We have a version of it with the Blue Rocks and the pickaxe and Mr. Celery actually in the logo. And I think that's going to be a big seller as well. We rolled out a couple years ago a sort of a preview of it when we introduced our Copa identity as the Blue Rocks in Spanish, and we had a character called Señor Apio, right? Mr. Celery in Spanish. And Señor Apio's merch sold like crazy. And so we really leaned into that on the rebrand, and we used a local designer in Wilmington,
That's awesome.
a wonderful guy named Nick Matarisi from the Barn Creative, and Nick designed. First, he designed Mr. Celery. Like I told him exactly what I wanted, and he gave it to me exactly what I wanted, and it was fabulous. Like, and we both knew right away we had a home run.
Oh yeah.
And then so it was so successful that we really based an entire rebrand of the team around what we had done with the Copa identity.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I don't know of any other team in baseball that can say that they rebranded their whole team based on their Copa identity.
Which, hey, listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As someone who is Puerto Rican and Hispanic, who truly do believe in the Copa initiative, I am very, very much in love with when teams do get involved with the Copa.
Yeah. Copa's been a great experience for us, and it's been a great way to reach out to our customers in both in Quad Cities and in Wilmington. And we are, even as an independent team, as a Pioneer League team in Modesto, California, we're having a Copa identity with the Glow Riders.
Yep, I saw that.
And I think we'll be the only Pioneer League team with a Copa identity. And I'm quite comfortable with that too.
It's okay with being a pioneer in something, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So I want to get your take on this, because obviously you are very purposeful about what you do when it comes to the teams, but specifically with the Quad City River Bandits, right? Who you really are ingrained in that community. What is community involvement why is it such a big part of your model, ownership model for owning the team?
Oh, listen, I really strongly believe that the community does not have a responsibility to support the team. The team has a responsibility to support the community. We had a hockey team here in the Quad Cities, I guess a AAA hockey team, an AHL team that was an affiliate of the Calgary Club, and they were called the Calgary Flames, and they left after 1 year, and the team owner said he was moving the team out of the Quad Cities. He said because the community didn't support the team, like it was somehow the people's fault. And I thought that's so ridiculous and so insulting and so backwards. The people don't have any responsibility to support a team. It's the team's responsibility to support the community and to earn the business of the people. And so we are very purposeful about engaging in the community. It's a requirement to work with any of my clubs that you donate your time to the community. We'd love you to donate money as well to charities and foundations and good causes, but you have to donate your time. We probably donate somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000 a year to the community.
That's amazing,
right?
Yeah,
a lot. Like we pay for free flu shots for every child in the Quad Cities. Nothing mandatory. If you don't want to get a flu shot, don't get one.
That's right. But at least you have the opportunity to get one.
That's right. If you want a flu shot for your child, the River Bandits will pay for it. We fund, we're one of the biggest funders of a wonderful program called Camp Hope, which is a camp for kids who are dealing with cancer in their families so that they can be with other kids who are going through the same thing and have an empathetic ear to talk to or listen to. We are the largest private funder of the neonatal intensive care unit in the Quad Cities at Mercy One Genesis, because both of my boys, I have two sons in high school here in the Quad Cities, and both of my boys were born in the NICU, and we want to make sure, my wife and I, feel it's important to make sure that every child in the Quad Cities has access to the same kind of quality care that our boys had when they were born.
I like that.
And we help fund a fantastic program here called Family Connects. That is a program that sends a nurse home for a week with every newborn baby to an impoverished mother. And study after study after study, Ed, has shown that 1 week of having a nurse there at the very beginning of a child's life can often be the difference between graduation and incarceration in a child's life. And so we want a stronger, healthier, happier community, and we do those things to help get us there. We've also had the largest college scholarship program of any minor league team in the country.
Is that the Bandit Scholars?
The Bandit Scholars. Yeah, the Bandit Scholars program. And I mean, think about this. There is minor league baseball played in NFL cities like Indianapolis and Charlotte and Nashville and Vegas. And ours is bigger. And there's NBA teams that play in minor league cities like Brooklyn and San Antonio and Indianapolis and Charlotte and Sacramento and Salt Lake City and Oklahoma City, and ours is bigger. And NHL cities like Columbus and San Jose and Raleigh, and ours is bigger. Like, I'm really proud of the money that we give away for college scholarships to help Quad City students go to Quad City area schools and learn and become successful and then make their life in this community.
No, you're 100% right. That's I truly do believe that in order, and this is why the Quad City River Bandits are so successful. Community engagement. I think that's something should be number one in a lot of the teams, right? Like you said, you are here to serve the community. It's not the other way around, right?
That's exactly right. And look, that starts. I'm at the top of the stairs, greeting every person when they come in the ballpark for almost every single game all year long, and I love it. They see me, I shake hands, I slap backs, and I love the people here. I love the people of the Quad Cities, and I feel so fortunate that I get the opportunity to interact with my friends and neighbors at the ballpark 66 times a year.
There's nothing absolutely wrong with that. Nothing at all. Talk about the partnership between now, like with you and the Kansas City Royals, because obviously the identity has altered a little bit, and it's very well done, obviously. But like, talk about that partnership now.
So I was asked in 2021 when our first year with the Royals, I was asked on live television what it's like going from the Houston Astros to the Kansas City Royals. And I said, you're dating this really nice girl and you break up with her and then you start dating Miss America. And that's how I feel about the Kansas City Royals. Like, the Astros were great. Like, no knock on the Astros. We enjoyed our time with the Astros. They were very nice to work with. But the Kansas City Royals are something really special. They are a wonderful and special and really almost magical organization. They make us here in Quad Cities really feel like we are an integral part of their organization, that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves. And they're just the best people. I mean, from in Dayton Moore when he was there, and now JJ Piccolo, who runs the baseball ops, and Brooke Sherman on the business side, and Mitch Meyer, the farm director, Nick Lito. You just go on and on and on. there are so many wonderful people with the Royals who I consider just super close friends, lifetime friends.
That's amazing.
And man, we are all in on the Royals. Um, and we just love them. And so, like, I'll tell you a little story about this.
Sure.
When we had to do the improvements to our ballpark to meet the new MLB facility standards,
Mm-hmm.
we added a video classroom for the Royals and a nutritionist office for the Royals and a strength and conditioning office for the Royals. And, you're required to have like a 250 square foot storage area by the batting cage. We gave them a bigger one than that. And then we gave them a second storage area that was like, I don't know, it's like 800 square feet, something like that, 850. And Freddie Seymour, wonderful guy at MLB who oversees all of the facility standards and makes sure that you're in compliance. He sees all this on the drawings we submitted, and he calls me up and he says, Dave, video classroom, nutritionist office, strength and conditioning coach's office with a bathroom, this extra storage room, you don't have to do all these things. MLB doesn't require them. And I said, I understand, I'm aware, but I'm far more interested in what I can do to help the Royals than I am, just checking the box on your facility standards. And that's why we did those things, because they help the Royals develop players. And we want to be the best partners that we could possibly be to the best organization in baseball.
That's amazing. I love the classroom environment, right? Obviously, because these are young kids that are coming in into your facility, right? They're young. They're so young that, these ball players, that they need an area for them to really embrace it and learn, right? I mean, they're learning. That's awesome.
And we want to give them every environment where they can, every opportunity with the right environment for them to succeed and go on to bigger and better things. Like, look, I love the fact the Royals draft Jack Caglione out of Florida, and they start his career right here in Quad Cities, and he's here in September, and by June of the following year, he's hitting home runs in Kansas City.
That's amazing.
Right. Yeah.
It's a great story.
It is a great story. And Noah Cameron is pitching for us one year, and within a year or so, he's throwing shutout after shutout for the Kansas City Royals and pushing them toward the playoffs. And you look at Michael Garcia, who just signed a long-term deal with the Royals, their all-star third baseman. He played here for a year. And Vinny Pasquantino, Michael Garcia, Michael Massey, like that's 3/4 of their infield. And they all came through Quad Cities. And I love that. I'm so proud of what these young men have done here in Quad Cities and then gone on to Northwest Arkansas and Omaha and ultimately to Kansas City to succeed, to start, and to star for the Royals. I'm telling you, Ed, I can't say enough good things about the Kansas City Royals. They are just such a fabulous, fabulous organization to work with. And I have, over the course of my career, owned 6 different minor league teams, and we've had 10 different affiliates. So there's some real grounds for comparison, and the Royals are just special. They're just special.
I got a couple more questions for you. I want to piggyback on the community involvement and all of this. And you have already a brand identity in Copa with the Quad City River Bandits. Are you looking to expand more on that into the coming years with the team?
We have a wonderful brand identity with the River Bandits, the Banditos del Rio. Mm-hmm. And that's been a big seller for us. And I do expect that we're going to expand and do more of that sort of thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, so I got a question for you here, and these are pretty much, some of the lessons that you've learned along the way. But what lessons can other minor league teams learn from the River Bandits, as far as like the rebrand? Like, I mean, there have to be some lessons learned here.
The lesson I would tell people, um, in terms of rebranding is more what I learned in Modesto than what I learned in Quad Cities. Quad Cities, we were really quite lucky,
Okay,
right? We had this great name, the River Bandits. The
you
previous
work
owner
back
got
into it.
away from it, right? He hired Brandios, and they said, let's go with Swing of the Quad Cities, and they went in that direction, and that was, I thought, pretty dopey. And so we brought it back to River Bandits, and that was easy. And like I said, you had
Sure,
82% vote in a six-way race.
right.
Putin doesn't get 82% of the vote in a six-way race, right? And he fixes the elections.
Right, right.
So that was really pretty easy. In Modesto, we had a similar thing, and and we gave people a bunch of choices, and No Name got more than 23% of the vote.
Hmm.
And so then it becomes really a challenge, because you don't want it to be like politics where you have this 6-7 way primary, and somebody wins with a 24% plurality, right?
Interesting. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
That's not what you're looking for in a rebrand. It's good to have community involvement. It's good to get community feedback, but you also don't want to be so closely tied to the outcome of that vote that
Sure.
your hands are tied. Um, and so in Modesto, we put these names out for a vote, and it, there was nothing that was really clearly decisive. No, in fact, the top two vote getters tied, literally tied. We sat down, we picked a name, the Glow Riders, and the community was like, "That's not what we want." And there was a big segment of the community that was happy with it, but there was another big segment of the community that wasn't. We did a town hall meeting in a large bar, large restaurant in town, and I said, anybody who comes, I'm going to pay for your beer. I want to hear what you got to say. And I bought a lot of beers that night, a few hundred, literally a few hundred beers. I've never done that before. And
That's a small tab that you got there.
yeah, and we had a great dialogue, with people there, and that's how we ended up with the Roadsters name. And again, just like in Wilmington,
Sure.
we had a local designer there, Andy and Greg Gallup from Studio Obsessed, from Slightly Obsessed Studios.
Mhm.
And they really, because they live in Modesto, they really understood what we were looking for and how to reflect the community, and they came up with a fantastic logo for the Modesto Roadsters. And they were collaborative, and they were fun to work with, and they've become really good friends.
That's amazing. And I think this ties in because I was literally the question that I was going to ask you is, is there anything that you would have done differently with the rebrand? I don't think you would, because you went back and you said, all right, listen, obviously it didn't work. So you were aware enough to say, all right, let's go back to the drawing table. Let's really speak to the community, which you brought them to the bar and you hung out and you bought beers and you listen. And I think that's such a key point right there, that a lot of other teams, not just minor league baseball, but like NFL, NBA, like they need to start listening to the fans more often.
I think you're always in a good position when you listen to your fans, and you engage with your fans, and you talk with your fans. Like,
Hmm.
I told you before, I stand at the top of the steps in Quad Cities, and I greet everybody when they come in and say goodnight to them when they leave. And I don't know, I don't know of any other minor league owner that stands there and does that. that greets everybody every game. But I do, and I love it. And I think to have that kind of direct fan engagement is important. It's invaluable.
How do you see minor league branding and fan engagements evolving within the next 10 years? I'm giving you that crystal ball. In your opinion, how do you see that involvement, that engagement and the evolution of that?
I said I think that the trend is going to expand where teams have multiple identities, where it's not just, hey, it used to be this is our team and we're the River Bandits and that's that. And
Mhm.
now we're the River Bandits and we have a Copa identity, the Bandidos del Rio. And like I think we're going to end up with multiple identities down the
You're right.
road.
I like that.
Yeah, just in Modesto, we are both the Modesto Roadsters and we're the Glow Riders. And I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with a third identity, at some point in the future.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And as someone who is a collector of hats, I like that a lot because having multiple identities does lend you to expand your merchandise.
It does, but it's more than that, Ed. Right? It's an
You're
opportunity.
absolutely.
It's an opportunity really to reach out to different segments of the community and make them feel valued and welcome in your ballpark.
That's amazing. You're right, 100% right about that. So tying to the community, then my last serious question here: what excites you the most about the future of Main Street baseball, River Bandits? Going into the future.
I really love the opportunity to build. I'd love the opportunity to build a ballpark from scratch somewhere.
Ooh.
That's the one thing I've never done. Every team that I've bought, we've inherited a ballpark. And the one thing I look forward to in the future is one day having the opportunity to design a ballpark from scratch, because there are things that I want to do, many things that I want to do in that ballpark that have never been done before in minor league baseball. And I'm hoping somewhere I'll have the opportunity to do that.
That would be awesome. Like,
You know,
just having that
if
experience
you
from
think it would
scratch.
be awesome, I promise you, your 7-year-old will think it will be awesome.
I 100% agree. Like, I am such a fan of like seeing it from starting from scratch, right? Like from an idea to paper to putting it out on a ballpark. Oh my God, those are the kind of things that excite me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. So you talk about the future. That's what I look forward to.
I love that. Love that a lot. All right. Are you ready for these rapid questions, my friend?
Fire away.
All right. So these are 10, very extremely hard questions. This is the hardest part of the whole show.
All
Uh,
right.
all right. Hot dogs or brat?
Hot dogs.
All right.
But
Game.
they gotta be foot long, and they gotta be like, I love a good bandit dog. It's wrapped in bacon, it's
Oh,
surrounded by cheese, and then it's slathered with chili.
I'm hungry. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. Number 2, day game or night game?
Night game.
I
More
like that.
people get to come.
That's true. Best ballpark sound, the crack of the bat or the crowd roar?
The joy of the laughter of kids who get off of one of our amusement rides, who ride a Ferris wheel or ride a spinning kids coaster or ride our double play or our wind up, and they're giggling and they're laughing and they're just having a great time. That's the best sound in a ballpark to me.
I like that a lot. All right. Favorite minor league promo, fireworks or bobbleheads?
My favorite minor league promo is one that I started, which we call the Mega Candy Drop, where we take a helicopter, we fill it with 1,000 pounds of candy, and after the game is over, we drop the candy all over the outfield, and the kids run out and pick up as much candy as they can. And as the kids are picking up the candy, the helicopter comes back, reloads, fills with 1,000 pounds of marshmallows, giant marshmallows, and drops the marshmallows all over the children. And the kids look up and go, "Oh my God, it's raining marshmallows."
That's amazing. Oh,
That's
that's awesome.
my favorite promo.
That's crazy. All right,
But
mascot.
that said, I will tell you, we have one hell of a fireworks show in both Wilmington and Quad Cities.
I
We
do
don't
not
we don't
doubt it.
skimp on the fireworks, man.
I do not doubt that at all, my friend. Mascot or bat dog?
Oh, mascot every day of the week.
I like that. Worst weather to host a game: rain or extreme heat?
Right? Mascots get to interact with kids. Bat dogs just go to the plate. Like they don't
And
talk
grab
to.
the bat.
Yeah, they don't interact with the kids. I'm all about fan interaction.
I
Mascot
see.
every day.
It is very clear, my friend. Absolutely.
All right, what's the next one?
All right, worst weather to host a game: rain or extreme heat?
Boy, they're both awful, but
Horrible. Yeah.
yeah. I mean I would say rain is worse because at some point
You're gonna have
you
to stop.
can't play in rain.
That's true. Okay. Walk off win or no hitter?
Oh, walk off. Nothing fires up a crowd like a good walk off. For sure, a walk
It
off.
gets me so excited when I see that. It's awesome. Just oh Lord, that's
Right.
amazing.
And it's also to understand the question fairly, a no hitter could be against you as well as for you. A walk off win, which is what you asked, is
It's
by
true.
definition, it's on your side.
That is 100.
Right? So I'll take the walk off and the W every time.
100%. All right. Best seat in the park.
Boy, I in Quad Cities, I would tell you it's right behind the home dugout because you're staring right out at the Mississippi River and you are seeing the Centennial Bridge lit up at night like a Christmas tree, and you get to watch the fireworks explode right over the Mississippi River. And Norman Rockwell couldn't paint you a picture that's as pretty as that.
I don't disagree with that, my friend. I like that a lot. All right. So I'm going to give you two options on this baseball movie here, okay? And you got to pick one: Bull
All right.
Durham or Field of Dreams.
Oh, I'm in Iowa. I've got to go with
Yeah,
Field
I'm
of
just going to
Dreams.
say I gave you an easy one here.
Right? We planted field corn in our ballpark in down the left field line, and later in the season, when the corn is grown tall enough, we have the players actually come out of the cornfield, and we put the clip on the video board. Is this heaven? No, this is Iowa. And the crowd goes nuts.
That's amazing.
So, as an Iowan, I'll take Field of Dreams every time.
All day, every day. All right, last one here, my friend. One word to describe minor league baseball.
One word. Is family friendly fun? One word.
You know what? We're going to put it all together, and then we're just going to call it one word. I like that.
Fun is great.
I like that. All right.
Right?
Like that
That's what we sell. We sell fun. I tell our staff all the time, we are not in the baseball business. We are not in the entertainment business. We are in the memory making business. And if we can create a memory for a young kid, we've really done something great with our day.
I don't disagree with you, my friend. Dave, thank you so much for doing this. I have had an absolute wonderful time. You know, you truly do embrace and embody what it's like to be involved with the community, with fans, and I think that's something that a lot of other teams really should take a closer look at that, because if it's not for the fans, there's no baseball, right?
That's exactly right. And that starts honestly. That starts with ownership. Like, the people who come in and they say, oh, we're going to do dynamic pricing so we can squeeze more money out of the community. Like, no, stop that.
Yeah.
Right. That's the downside of private equity coming in and buying up 48 teams. Like, that's not what's in the best interest of either baseball or the community.
You're not going to get me to disagree with you there. So,
yeah.
So
no, I feel so privileged to live in the Quad Cities and to be able to interact with the best people in the country right here and to share my love of baseball with them. It's just fantastic.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to again history here with my good friend, Mr. Kelly Robinson of the Minor League Baseball Nerd. Make sure you guys are following him on all of the socials and make sure you follow him and get his podcast because it's really good. And he's also on YouTube. Make sure you do that. Okay. All right. So we're going to start today with the Quad Cities history. And we talked, and then you said, well, we got some stuff to discuss because there's definitely some interesting things about the history in the Quad Cities. So, my friend, first of
Yes,
all, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me on. I definitely enjoy it.
Me too. I'm enjoying
It,
these segments that we just got started here in
it,
2026.
it was kind of hard for me to narrow down which of the 11 River Bandits hats to wear. So
Yeah,
I went with this because I know how much you like it, and it kind of sort of matches my
I
jersey.
so love that. See, I don't have a hat with that logo, with the baseball hat, the bandana, and the hat.
Yeah,
I wish I had a hat with that.
I think I got this one last year, so hopefully they'll bring it back. I mean, their wall of caps is just it's
I
huge.
cannot wait.
It's great.
Cannot wait to see that. And so I'm so excited to see that. I can't tell you how excited I am. So, but anyways, we digress here. Let's go ahead and get started, my friend. What is it about the Quad Cities that makes it such a unique place for in the history of baseball and perhaps sports?
Okay, well, I'm going to start with the current franchise.
Let's do that.
So the Quad Cities River Bandits, their history
Yes.
actually starts in 1960.
Okay.
So they can you can trace them all the way back to 1960s, beginning in the Midwest League.
Interesting.
They started in 1960 as and then they started as the Quad City Braves.
Okay.
And then they became the Quad Cities Angels from 1962 to 1978. And then they were the Quad Cities Cubs from 79 to 84. And then the Angels name came back from 85 to 91.
Paul will be so happy with this. Our friend Paul from Baseball by Design.
Yeah, nothing but their major league affiliates from their major league name from the
Right.
beginning to 1991. But 1992, they became the Quad City River Bandits.
And this is a controversy. This is where controversy
Yes,
starts.
yes. Well, then with the current ownership, the controversy really comes in 2004 when the team became the swing of the Quad Cities. This was the cap I got when we saw a game in 2007.
Okay.
And then this one, the copper one, the burnt orange one, Chris Storm actually picked up for me at the New Era store a couple of years ago.
Shout out to Chris.
Yes, yes. So he was in Buffalo and he's like, "Do you want anything?" I'm like, "Yes."
As a matter of fact, I do.
Yes. But then, as has already been discussed, when Dave Heller purchased the team, he hated the name.
No,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if hate is a big enough word for
no, it's not a big word.
but I didn't mind it. I mean, River Bandits is a better name, but
Even the logo itself, it's a much better logo in
yeah,
my opinion. In my opinion, again,
right.
everybody likes it. Mike Sellers of his own podcast as well. He says that he prefers the swing of the Quad City.
Yeah, he was really jealous because I had the baby blue cap because he didn't have one,
Uh-huh.
and then I showed him the ice cream helmet, and that like set him off.
Then hits
I
him.
know he's now got both. He's got a helmet and a cap, so he's good. He's set.
But the way that the colors were chosen is such a weird way.
I did not know that until the first episode. I was just telling Christina about that, and we both thought the burnt orange was to look like a wind instrument, a saxophone, or some sort of instrument. Not that it was. Oh, it's University of Texas.
Nope. It was University of Texas, which
Yeah.
was like, okay. So University of Texas, University of North Carolina, and Michigan Wolverines.
That was. I could remember the dark blue. It's Michigan.
The Michigan Wolverines of the Big Ten. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Really
Anyways,
ridiculous. But yeah, get back onto it. So he held a team, or like a rename the team contest, and actually kept the swing on there.
I gotta hand it to him. That was very ballsy of him to say,
Yeah.
we're gonna keep it.
Yeah, if the fans want it, okay. And the fans clearly did not want it because what he said was 84% said River Bandits.
River Bandits.
I think the only other name I can remember, I think one option was the Channel Cats, but
Interesting name.
I'm not entirely sure because I remember when they held the name the team contest, and I at that time was like, no, you got to keep the swing. And I kept voting. I tried to get other people to vote to keep the swing name. And then the River Bandits came back and I saw the logo and everything. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's good.
See, that's it, and not to get off track here, but that's interesting because when people when teams release the name, you're like, man, I hate that name. But then they release the logo, and you're like, on second thought, you're
There
right.
have been so many names in the last 10 years that I'm like, that's terrible. Like El Paso Chihuahuas. I hated that name.
Oh my god, it's one of my favorite logos of all time.
Then the logos came out and like, all right, you got me.
Yeah, all right. Here's my credit card.
Trash Pandas, same thing.
Same
And
thing.
then it came out and I'm like, oh my God, this is fantastic.
I agree. 100. Although the Huntsville Stars.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I've got a couple of those. So, but so you're asking about the name Quad Cities. So the Quad Cities, it's Davenport, Bettendorf in Iowa, and Rock Island and Moline in Illinois. They border each other. The Illinois and in Iowa are separated by the Mississippi River right there.
Interesting.
But the area first became known as the Tri-Cities around 1919. And then when Bettendorf started to grow in the late 50s into the 60s,
Okay.
and they're like, we need to update the name. And one of the original names they were going to do was the Quint Cities.
Quint Cities.
Quint Cities. But Quad Cities is the one that ended up sticking.
Okay.
So then in the early 60s is when the area started being referred to as the Quad Cities. So one of the interesting things, and I don't know how many people know this, I'm not a big basketball guy, but I've actually known this forever. The area used to actually have an NBA team.
Really?
They were actually a founding member of the National Basketball Association when
Shut the front door.
they played in the team started as the Buffalo Bisons because Buffalo, every team's got to be named the Bisons.
Bisons. Yeah.
So they started as the Buffalo Bisons in 1946. During the season, they weren't drawing, so they moved to Moline, Illinois, where they became the Tri-Cities Blackhawks.
I do like the name.
Yeah, the Blackhawks is because that's where Chief Blackhawk is from, that area. So that's where they took it from. And actually, that's where the Chicago Blackhawks name is derived from Chief Blackhawk. But it was actually the founder of the Blackhawks. I'm forgetting his first name, McLaughlin. That was the name of his military unit in World War I. He was the Blackhawk. So that's really, so they both names derive from the same place.
Okay. All right. I'm following now.
The Tri-Cities Blackhawks played in the National Basketball League. And in 1949, the National Basketball League and the Basketball Association of America merged to form the National Basketball Association.
Oh.
So they were a founding member of the National Basketball Association. But they didn't last long. They only stayed in the city for 2 years before moving to Milwaukee, where they became the Milwaukee Hawks. And I'm sure you can figure out where they are now. They're the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, I was just going to say the Hawks.
Yeah, so that the Atlanta Hawks trace all the way back to 1946 and to a different league.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, I when I was younger, like in the early mid 80s, I was more into basketball, and I kind of, as I got older, I fell out of it.
Sure.
That was one thing I just always thought was kind of cool. But I mean, that was back in the start. That's when NBA teams were all in small cities. I mean,
correct. Hey, Cleveland.
Yeah,
at that point was a small city. Yeah, Detroit.
Detroit before the Pistons were there, they played in Fort Wayne. There was a team in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Sheboygan,
like, small little Midwestern cities, but they loved basketball.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to do during the winter. If you didn't have football, you have what? Basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay. All right. See, I'm learning something here.
And we're going to bring up another sport in a bit.
Oh,
so there's going to be another professional sport
I love the tease.
So they were the three different cities. They were the Tri-Cities, and they didn't be, like I said, they didn't become one city under a name of a team until 1960. So Davenport, Moline, and Rock Island, Illinois, all actually at one point and several years at the same time had their own teams.
Huh.
So Davenport's first pro team was the Davenport Brown Stockings of the Northwestern League in 1879.
Brown Stockings. Okay.
And then they had a team called, you're going to love this name, the Onion Weeders.
Oh my God.
They played in the Western Association in 1888.
Onion Weeders, huh?
And then a team called the Pilgrims played in the Illinois-Iowa League in 1891.
What?
And then they didn't get pro baseball again until 1901 when the Davenport River Rats joined the Illinois-Indiana-Iowa, or as it's commonly known as the 3I League.
The 3I League.
3 I's. And it's you'll sometimes see it just 3, the number 3 or the word 3 with the letter I. Sometimes it'll actually spell out EYE.
Huh.
So you have some fun with it.
I like that. I like that a lot.
But so this team played through 1916, but they used different names. So they started as the River Rats.
I
They
like the
were
name.
also known as the Riversides.
What? Riversides?
Riversides, on the side of the river.
No. Yep, I'm with it.
The Knickerbockers. I don't know where that name came from.
Yeah, it's a basketball one. That's the New York Knicks.
Yeah. The Prodigals. Like the
Oh,
Prodigals.
wow.
And then the one most people know, the Blue Sox, because that's who Quad Cities played as during the Field of Dreams, minor league Field of Dreams game.
Correct.
During the first year. And then they lost a team after 1916. They didn't get another one back until 1929 when the Blue Sox name was resurrected, playing in the Mississippi Valley League through 1933. And then they joined the Western League in 1934 and then folded in 1937 or after the 1937 season.
Huh.
And they didn't actually get baseball back until 1946 when the Davenport Cubs joined the 3I League. And
this is awesome.
In the 3I League, they played as the Cubs, the Pirates, the Quads, the Davenport Quads.
Yep.
And the Davenport Tigers. And then they folded after the 52 season.
Mm.
And then they had one more team in the 3I League before joining the Midwest League. Get ready for this one, the Davenport Dab Sox.
Oh my God. This is very original.
Yes. They played in the 3I League in 1957 and 1958.
Oh, okay.
And then we crossed the river over to Moline, Illinois. So Moline had teams. Their first team was the Rock Island Moline Twins, who played in the 2I League, the Illinois-Iowa League.
Oh, my God.
That was in 1892. So we started with 2 I's and then we ended up with 3.
Then 3. Okay. All right. I'm following now.
And then the Islanders played in the Western Association in 1894.
Okay.
And then comes the most popular, the most well-known name, the Moline Plowboys.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of farming in the area. So the Plowboys played in the 3I League. They 3 different times they came and went. 1914 to 1917. The 1917 season, like pretty much every league, ended early because of World War I.
Yeah, of course.
The 3I League didn't play in 1918, also because of World War I.
Of course.
So the league and the team came back in 1919, playing through 1923. And then they went away, and then they came back again from 1937 to 1941.
Oh wow, that's some.
Yeah, but so when they that was a good stretch. In between there, they actually left the 3I League for a while. They played through the 3I League through 1923. In 1924, they joined the Mississippi Valley League, which Davenport also had a team in for a while. They played there from 24 to 32. Nice long stretch.
That's pretty good.
And then after the Plowboys left after the 41 season, then there was the Moline A's. They were affiliated.
I wonder who they were affiliated with.
They played in the Central Association just for 2 years, 1947 and 1948.
Crazy to think. So up to this point, right? How many leagues popped up during this time?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
It's insane. I mean, at one point, I think the biggest year was 1949 when I forget the exact number, but it was like 50 to 60 some odd leagues,
Everybody thought they could do it better.
all part of the National Association, which is minor league baseball.
Yeah.
So it was, so many leagues, so many names, and
This is
so
wild.
many, like most of these leagues were either Class B or lower.
Sure. Yeah.
So basically the equivalent of like single A down to short season.
Golly.
But then we move on to Rock Island, Illinois,
Mm.
where their first team was the Wapellos in 1866.
Come again? The what? The Wapellos?
Wapellos.
All right.
Or if it's Spanish, the Wapellos.
The Wapellos. Okay. 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 Okay.
I don't think it was the Wapellos. Something tells me 1866, there wasn't a lot of Spanish spoken
No.
in the Rock Island area.
No.
I tried looking. I don't know exactly where the name derived from. Perhaps someone who's from the area might know. I couldn't really find anything.
Find anything? Yeah.
I didn't dig too deep though.
No. I get that. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I got you.
But then the Rock Island Tri-Cities played in the Eastern Iowa League in 1895.
Okay.
And then came about the name that Rock Island is most known for when it comes to baseball, the Rock Island Islanders.
Okay. I can dig that.
Yeah, there's an island in the Mississippi River. That's where the name comes from. There used to be an arsenal on there, so it was the Rock Island Arsenal. It's not there anymore. You can go. We've actually gone onto the island. You can like walk about and
How
tour.
is it? Is the island big enough that eventually you can one day put a baseball team?
I don't know if they ever. I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
it would be a small field.
Yeah, my small, like, single A team or something like that.
There wouldn't be much in the way of amenities. It wouldn't be that big of a ballpark.
Mm.
So like you could probably put stands up, but they never actually played on the island.
Okay. But they were known as the Islanders.
They were known as the Islanders. And
Okay. Okay.
as the Islanders, they played in the Western Association in 1899. And then like the other teams in the area, they played in the 3I League three different times, 1901 to 1911, 1916 to 1917, and then 1920 to 1921. And then they moved over to the Mississippi Valley League, where they had a really good long stretch, 1922 to 1933.
Okay, so about 11 years.
Yeah. And then they left the Mississippi Valley League, which didn't actually last too long. And then they went over to the Western League. From 34 to 35, they were the Islanders. 1936, they were the Rock Island Rocks.
Oof, big original.
And then went back to the Islanders in 1937.
Good.
And then they only lasted, I think, just that one season.
Sheesh.
So yeah, so there was actually, for a good stretch of time, 3 teams in the Tri-Cities.
That's the thing though, for an area that I wouldn't say that big, but small enough that like to support 3 different teams, that's a little tough.
Yeah. And it's amazing that it lasted as long. I mean, they probably didn't draw much. I mean, they probably only averaged a couple hundred a game.
Yeah, I mean,
But
obviously,
still, 3 teams.
Yikes.
And I actually meant to look, and I didn't get a chance to, but I don't know if they all 3 ever played in the same league at the same time. I know there was a point where Rock Island and Moline were in one league, and Davenport was in another one.
Huh. Okay.
But then, so what was mentioned on the episodes and is true because I've been there many times. Modern Woodmen Park really is one of the best ballparks in all of minor league baseball.
People keep telling me that.
Yeah, and it's you have to go at a night game,
of course,
because it doesn't always happen. But when the sky is like lit perfectly around the sun going down, it's an incredible view. You've got the Centennial Bridge going right over from Iowa to Illinois, which if you're along third base line, when it lights up is beautiful.
Huh.
And then if you're on first base side,
Who would have thunk it?
you've got the wheel in which
People, yeah, the wheel is something that a lot of people like. They really tell me that it's like super popular in that area.
I should have had ready to go, but
Oh, but look at that! You do have a. Oh, it actually is a working,
it actually
bobblehead wheel.
yeah, the bobble wheel.
Interesting. Look at that.
This is the great wheel. The we tend to go to Davenport 1 to 2 times a season. We usually try to go when there's a giveaway, when there's a bobblehead giveaway, because they do.
Of course.
I mean, I'm not going to show you them all, but they do a lot of great bobbleheads.
I like that. Have you been on the wheel?
Yes. Yeah, we've been on the wheel both before, after, and during a game.
Yeah, okay.
So they're like sometimes later in the season, they'll like usually the last weekend, which we've done the last few years, it's open. It's free. You can ride it for free.
Interesting.
But yeah,
like
they had, so there's, everyone knows the wheel, but then next to the wheel, there's like a little roller coaster. I mean, it's a really small roller coaster. There's a merry-go-round and a few other things as well.
He
So
really did make it look like like a full entertainment for the kids.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very kid friendly.
I like that. Okay, all right.
But yeah, so Modern Woodmen Park opened in 1931. So it's been home of any team that played in Davenport since then. It was originally named Municipal Stadium.
Sure.
But it was renamed to John O'Donnell Stadium.
Can we give
John O'Donnell?
Gotcha. Okay.
He was the longtime sports editor of the Davenport Times Democrat newspaper.
That's a name.
When he passed away in 1971, they renamed the stadium to honor him. But then the corporate sponsor name came in 2008. So, but in the ballpark, the press box is still known as the John O'Donnell press box. So
at least they kept that.
Yeah. So on the front of the stadium says Modern Woodmen Park, but you go inside underneath the press box, it says John O'Donnell press box.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
So I figure I'll mention the other ballpark. So Rock Island played at what was known as the 12th Street grounds.
12th Street ground. Why? Just because?
Just because it was on 12th Street. So original names.
Very very original.
They played there through 1904. It's actually seems like they kind of flip back and forth between 12th Street grounds and a place called Douglas Park.
Okay.
So Douglas Park actually still exists. So bringing up the other sport, Douglas Park was home of the Rock Island Independents, which was a football team that played from 1905 to 1926. They played at Douglas Park through 1925 season. So the National Football League, under the current name, was formed on September 17th, 1920. 9 days later, the Rock Island Independents played the first game by an NFL team against a non-NFL team. They played against a team called the St. Paul Ideals.
Oh, look at that. That's what I'm looking at it right now. Some of those images. Holy moly.
Yeah. Do you see the field house with the mural on it?
I'm trying to look for it here.
Yeah, right behind home plate. It's the press box, the concession stand, and the bathroom on one side. There's a mural covering the history of, because I mean it's all of Rock Island's teams played there. The Bears played there.
So it's green. It's a green shirt with green and white stripes on the sleeves.
Yeah.
Interesting. Look at that.
Yeah, so it kind of lays claim to being the home of the first NFL game, but it wasn't an NFL team against an NFL team.
So you can't really say it was a first NFL game because
it's on the mural, but there's no plaque or anything.
Gotcha.
But Rock Island won the game 48-0. So that also tells you what kind of team the Ideals were.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where basically pretty much most of their teams play. That the Independents, when they left the NFL,
Sure.
and went to another league, and then they ended up actually moving to the stadium in Moline in 1926, where they
Huh,
played their last season.
look at that.
And then in Moline, originally the park was called Athletic Field or 3i Park.
We go with the 3i again.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. There are lots of old ballparks that are like named after the league, or some
Sure.
just called League Park, especially in like the lower leagues.
Yeah.
But that's where Moline's teams played. That I don't think exists anymore. But then they, starting in 1920, they moved to Browning Field, which still exists, though it's used by Moline High School and has been since it opened. But it's really now it's just a football field and a track field. We were there last year.
Yeah.
So when we went to River Bandits game last year, we went to both Douglas Park and Browning Field, and they're like 15 minutes away from each other.
Huh.
Douglas Park, like I said, has a nice mural on the side of the field house. Browning Field doesn't have any mention of anything about history that happened there. Maybe they do have a big gymnasium. Maybe there's stuff in there. I don't know. We didn't get to go into there. But another big thing happened there at Browning Field on June 26, 1940. Babe Ruth appeared there.
What?
He played in an exhibition game with the Moline Plowboys, and before the game put on a batting practice exhibition.
Of course, he's just hitting dingers all over the place.
Yeah. But yeah, there's nothing from the original structure left. It's all new, but it's the field where all of this took place.
Huh. Okay.
So that's pretty much the history of a very rough, shortened version of history of baseball and
Yeah.
other sports in the Quad Cities area.
It's interesting just because I'm always fascinated. This is obviously how we got to know each other, like, through the history of sports and everything. But like that, there's so much history that not a lot of people know, right?
Yeah.
Hell, I didn't know, the independence, right? And that's something that's super cool to know that, like, they had a professional NBA team, a professional NFL team,
Yeah.
in the Quad Cities.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I mean, Red Grange, Hall of Famer Red Grange actually played in the Quad Cities during a game against, I think he was on the New York Yankees football team playing against Rock Island.
Golly, look at that.
So it is kind of, I mean, it's cool. Douglas Park has a mural up covering the history. Cause like I said, the Bears played there against Rock Island.
Sure.
But it was kind of upsetting or disappointing that there's nothing at Browning Field mentioning. Like I said, it could have been inside the gymnasium, which was a huge building, but we weren't able to get access to that.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping there's something in there, but there was
Something in there, just say that, yeah.
plaques, nothing
Yeah.
around the field. I mean, you figure, so many places want to mention that Babe Ruth played here. You think they would want to do that, but
That's something that I would like to know.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, this guy played here.
Yep.
So
we'll have an episode in our next season talking about a team in a ballpark where Babe Ruth hit his first home run during the regular season.
his first home run, regular season home run.
Yes. Yeah. Because he hit a home run earlier, but it was an exhibition game played somewhere else.
Sure.
So, but it's just like, you got two different places claiming here, first home run here. And it's like, you'd think batting practice, you think you'd want to play that up, but
You would think so. But, again, listen, back then it was totally different than it is now, right?
exactly.
So I'm not too surprised, to be honest with you. And so I like that. I appreciate you giving us a little history lesson here on the Quad Cities, history of sports on this time around. There was one. I want to make sure that you guys go ahead and like I said, hit the follow for Kelly and the Minor League Baseball Nerd. He does a really good job in YouTube, especially when he's putting together all of the videos, the pictures, all of the stats and things like that. Make sure you guys are following him on all those socials as well. Mr. Robertson, thank you so much. Appreciate that, my friend.
Thanks for having me on. I definitely appreciate it.
And that wraps up today's episode of Dad Hat Chronicles, guys. Huge thanks to Dave for taking the time to join me, to talk about the team, to share some stories. If you are loving the show, guys, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, leave us a quick review, and follow along for more behind-the-scenes baseball content. And then for the Dad Hat Chronicles, I'm Ed, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Y ya no hay más que hablar.